adjust this microphone a bit. A little taller than Jeanette. All right. I'd like to thank Ms. Jeanette Jamison for that introduction. Appreciate her service as a former state representative. She is a continuing support to our community, and she is a local treasure to many of us. This race here reminds me a story of two young gentlemen that grew up in a small town, much like where I come from in Toccoa, where I've lived all my life. These two young gentlemen come from equally loving homes, I'm sure they did. One man was slightly older than the younger person, and he took the leadership from many he was surrounded and displayed it in the community and became a leader and a commonplace known person in the community as an active individual. The other person was usually invisible and not well known in the community, and he always looked to others for leadership and guidance and usually needed someone to make decisions for him. These two young gentlemen traveled to a lake up in the mountains, much like the ones we have in northeast Georgia. And it was a hot summer day, and both gentlemen decided to cool off in the lake. So they went for a swim, and when they got done, they came back to the bank of the lake, and they started to gather their things together, when suddenly a big black bear came down on the bankside and started making this aggressive approach towards the two young men. So the older, wiser young man, he started to put on his shoes, and the other young man, he was in a panic, looking for, guidance and instruction on what to do. And he said, "Man," he's like, "what are you doing putting your shoes on? We got to get away from this bear." And the wiser young man, he said, "Well, I know we got to get and run away from this bear, but all I have to do is outrun you." And that's similar to the position I'm in today, is that I have to outrun my opponent, and I know that I can do so. And it's time that we return good leadership to our state and not individuals who need guidance and expect to follow other people. So, as Ms. Jameson said, I'm Chris Irvin, and all my life I have been exposed to politics, and this is my first foray into politics as a candidate. Needless to say, I'm excited at the response to my announcement of my candidacy. Like so many of you, I'm disappointed, and concern is the main reason for the announcement of my candidacy as a state representative. When our present administration took office some 7.5 years ago, we were one of the most progressive states in the nation. We as a state were financially secure with nearly $1 billion in reserves. Now, of course, the economy has not been good to the state of Georgia or to the District 28, but poor or no leadership and a representative who votes blindly with his party are equally as devastating. For example, my opponent recently supported the recently passed budget. This budget contained nearly 100 fees increases that they named fee, F-E-E, not T-A-X, tax. We are not fooled. My opponent also voted for the SB 200 legislation, which took the authority of locating new roads out of the hands of an elected DOT board and left the decision solely to the governor. Now, it's no surprise that Highway 17, Georgia 17 through the 28th District, has once again been put on the back burner, but yet a new highway is being constructed right now through Bon Air, Georgia, the governor's hometown. Indeed, we are told this road passes through property owned by Governor Perdue. Now, our representatives should be screaming with indignation, but yet we don't hear nothing from him. You can ask our local citizens of District 28. You can ask our locally elected officials if their telephone calls are returned. You can ask if they're able to reach them about their voices and concerns, and their answers will be no. Is it any wonder why we are concerned about the education, funding, jobs, major highway construction, the futures of our children in our area in Georgia, that our voices are the only ones that are heard? When elected, silence will be the last thing on my mind. In the future, I hope everybody will learn my work ethic, my education, my background, and meet my lovely wife and companion of 13 years who's here today to support us. And in the interest of time, I'd like to thank everybody for their attention and their attendance and all those responsible for this event here we've had today. Thank you.